Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, Anthony, here to give you guys another review for the series, The Peripheral. And if you haven't already, you gotta go check out my other two reviews for the first two episodes over here. Definitely check those out. We've pretty much created the Peripheral community. And I really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to this channel. It's been pretty crazy with this series, you know. The series pretty much has blown up my channel, and I really appreciate if you guys, continue to do that, because it's fun. But without further ado, guys, let's get into episode 3 of The Peripheral, Haptic Drift. So this episode is pretty much a backstory for every character known to man in this series, and it's pretty interesting. We mainly focus on the villains of this show, but we focus on Corbell first, and we get a little bit of history of how he pretty much took over the town. Looks like he was some kind of like sleazy car salesman, and a group of bikers, they were the ones that kind of controlled the town. He pretty much like shows them who's boss and tells them like, yeah, I'm the new guy in town. And I like that we're focusing more on Corbell because to be honest, the first two episodes when they introduced him as like the big baddie of the town, wasn't really intimidated, especially when the CIA Homeland Security Matrix looking dude came into his VR game, or date as if you will, and pretty much told him that he has to put on a hit for the Flynn and her family and all that stuff. I didn't really feel that intimidating factor from Corbell, but in this episode, you get a lot of backstory, and he gets a chance to show off, like, how evil this guy really is. And as far as Dr. Newland, we get her perspective and, what she's all about. It's still not quite clear what her intentions are or what she's really after, why she is focusing on Flynn and her family. But we do get to know her just a little bit, and, she's like the intellectual bad guy of the show and more. Not to say that, Corbell is stupid, but she's more tactical in the way that she does things and more calculated and more like, I'm going to Dr. Seuss you to death. And it seems like she has some kind of control over things around her in her world. And they do explain to you and show you why they give her the name Queen Bee. It's pretty right on the nose. But the bad guys of the show are not the only ones that get some in-depth storytelling, some backstory, character development. Wilf gets a lot more time to shine in this episode, and we come to find out that his name is not Wilf. I wouldn't think that somebody would be named Wilf, so it's short for Wilfred. And we get a flashback of showing Wilfred, young and young Alita as they're getting ready to be adopted, but it looks like the adoptees just want Alita and don't really want Wilfred. And just the looks that they're giving Wilfred, you can kind of tell what kind of people these are. But Alita pretty much says that she's not going anywhere without Wilfred, and then the mom, the dad look at this kid and they're like, you're gonna be my butler. And I guess that's like the nice way of saying what they really thought of this kid and what their thought of the future for him was going to be when they first laid eyes on him. And we expand that backstory as Wilfred goes back to his adopted mother's home looking for Alita and, asking her, like, have you seen Alita? And his mom pretty much says, yeah, I've seen her, and she gave me some weird message, and she said that if I paid attention, then I would know what it means. She asked Wilfred the same question or the same mysterious note that Alita gave to her, and Wilfred's like, I don't even know either. And as Wilfred's mother tells him more about the situation, and he could just get more and more information and know, like, Wilfred's life wasn't really that good, and his adopted mother pretty much kind of justifies the situation that they put him in, saying that, hey, we gave you a roof over your head, we gave you food, we gave you a good schooling, the stuff that we wanted you to do, or the way that we treated you because of the way you look, that shouldn't be a problem for you. And we finally get more info on Burton and his abilities, little things that I called like freaking cords in his body. And I know a lot of you in the comments were coming after me and saying that, he's a haptic marine. He's a marine. Get it together, man. Hey, this is the first time in this entire show that they actually explained what he was. It was all alluded to prior. So don't come for me that much in the comments. I didn't know, as well as some people in the comments were talking to me. They're like, hey, I don't know what the heck he is either. But like I said, we get confirmation that he is a haptic marine as well as his friends, and they have this ability to feel each other's emotions, kind of. They still need to dive a little bit deeper into that. Again, like I said in the beginning, my first video of this series, I didn't read the book, so I don't know anything about this. I'm just a random person that had Prime and wanted to watch this show and thought it was interesting. So give me just a little bit of slack. But we do get more information about these haptic Marines. And as Burton is talking to his sister Flynn, you know, she had just recently came back from the future and she was in her peripheral, and she kind of felt something similar to what Burton feels when he is using his haptic feedback. Because Flynn just had like a little situation, you know, with Wilf, and they had to get out of a little spot and they ended up making out pretty much. And she started feeling things, you know, after she came out of the sim. And she's like, you know, I'm having thoughts of this Wolf guy after I kissed him, which is kind of funny because it's like one kiss and then she's like infatuated with this guy. But Burton does tell her that, you know, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff because Flynn and Wolf did this kind of merging kind of thing where they merged like their senses together so they can see each other, what each other is seeing and everything. And Burton was telling Flynn, you know, you got to be careful with that because it can feel like a love once you mold these two souls, as he said, together. And that's exactly what's happening to Flynn right now. But I just thought it was kind of weird, kind of funny too at the same time. That it's like, oh, you know, now she kissed the dude one time, but they explained it. At least kind of. They explained it in a very sci-fi way, but it still just kind of gave me a chuckle. But once Flynn goes back into the sim and is in her peripheral, she's talking to Wolf and they're trying to decipher this code that Alita gave to Wolf and, well, gave to Wolf's mother. And they're trying to figure this out. But Flynn, like, quickly is say, hey, how about this? And they're like, oh, it was that the whole time. And I know that Flynn is smart and everything, but they don't really do a good job of showing, you know, how well read and how smart she really is. They just kind of imply it, and people around her say like, hey, you're too good for this, like you're better off doing this, but they don't really actually show her doing it. Like I don't know, like show her in a room, she has like a whole bunch of books or something. I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of books behind me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I know all the stuff that she does, you know, but just give me something to show. But they uncovered the secret and they find the location that Alita is talking about, and it looks like somebody has already gotten there first. And as they're investigating, you know, the guy that we seen before that beat up Flynn when she was in the peripheral of her brother, I know, sci-fi confusion. He shows up along with another robot peripheral kind of thing, and they fights. And then Flynn ends up beating the dude, and you can see also that Dr. Newland is like seeing through the robot, and she's like recording pretty much everything. And she kills her henchman right before he can reveal what she is actually after. And that is the end of the episode. Again, guys, if I missed something here or there, you know, don't come for my head a little bit. I'm just one guy, okay? I'm just one guy talking about the show that I tend to like. So let me know in the comments down below, but be respectful, you know, I'm a tough guy, I can handle it, but let me know what I missed in the comments down below. Let's have a little discussion about this episode. And as far as what I think about this episode, how I'm feeling about the series so far, I like this episode. This episode's pretty interesting. Like I said, it's pretty much like an info dump of information for us with all these different characters. We learn a little bit more about Corbell, Newland, Wolf, Flynn. Everybody gets a little bit more information. And I like when shows do that. They give us a couple episodes here or there of like just info dump of these characters, because to me, like, a good show has good characters, or characters that you know what their motive is, you know their personality, you feel like you know them a little bit, right? And that's what this episode is doing. I'm not entirely sold on the whole, like, you know, Flynn loving Wolf thing kind of situation that's going on. Again, like I said, the show did explain why she's feeling those ways. It's just kind of but guys, the most important thing is to let me know what you think in the comments down below. How did you feel about this episode? Do you think that it is an improvement from the last episode? Do you think that it's similar to that? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, if you haven't seen the first 2 video reviews that I've done for the series, go check it out over here. It was a blast. We all had fun. People came for me in the comments. It was a good time. But guys, as always, check out my Twitter so you can stay up to date with my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And remember, guys, keep watching.